As per Shri Atul Chaturvedi, Secretary Animal Husbandry and Fisheries, the government has begun sanctioning financial support under Coveted Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund. As a first of its kind scheme in which private sector cooperatives and FPOs are included, the government has already passed project worth Rs 870 crores. The majority of the cleared projects are for milk processing, followed by cattle feed and a little in meat processing. The scheme will also cover breeders' farms, so it makes the support almost a 360-degree outreach for growing dairy businesses. The scheme has many firsts. It is for the first time that the government is taking 25% guarantee for the project cost on behalf of the promoter. The scheme ensures project funding with as little as 10% and as high as 25% equity participation from the promoter. The interest rates by any bank have been capped at not more than 2% over the EBLR or external benchmark based lending rate. The scheme will have maximum repayment period of 8 years inclusive moratorium for 2 years. 3% interest subvention will not be applicable to cost of land, working capital, old machineries and vehicles for personal use. After successfully blocking milk product imports from New Zealand and Australia under RCEP, the Indian dairy industry is mounting similar pressure vis-a-vis a free trade deal with European Union. As per the dairy industry, they want to include dairy in the India-EU Free Trade Agreement FTA, which we are strongly resisting. When import of cheese, ice cream, yogurt and whey is already allowed at 30% duty, buttermilk fat at 40% and milk powder at 60%, why should we further open up our market? Even in milk powder, the basic duty is 15% on imports of up to 10,000 tons a year, with only quantities beyond that attracting 60%. India's organized cheese market is estimated at 60 to 70,000 tons with a production capacity of 100,000 tons per year and worth rupees 1800 to 2100 crore at an average processor realization of rupees 300 per kg. Roughly 3/4 of this is marketed in consumer packs and the rest sold to Horeca. With mozzarella cheese being identified for support under production linked incentive or PLI scheme to boost exports, the capacity will go up to another 50%. Allowing more imports goes against the government's own policy objective, the sources claim. India imports around 3,000 tons of mostly gourmet cheese annually, but the fear is of large-scale imports once the market is fully opened up. EU is the world's largest producer of 103.5 lakh tons out of total 212.22 lakh tons in 2020, as well as exporter 9.31 lakh ton out of 21.62 lakh tons of cheese. In a newspaper advertisement this week, dairy cooperative Amul sought to bust myths about non-dairy beverages that are alternative to milk. The advertisement states that the term milk is being encroached by plant-based beverages made from soya, almonds, oats and others, which Amul believes is misleading for consumers. Amul has been very aggressive in defending its milk territory, beginning with Vanaspati, which was being marketed as vegetable ghee. The dairy industry's claim is that ghee can only be milk fat, not vegetable fat. Then came ice cream that contains about 10% fat and 11% SNF. The dairy industry led by Amul has led a campaign that only ice cream containing 10% milk fat can be called ice cream. More recently, Amul launched peanut spread. According to it, there is nothing called peanut butter because butter is nothing but clarified ghee and can only be derived from milk. So ghee is 99.5% milk fat and butter is 82% milk fat. As per FSSAI, milk is the normal mammary secretion derived from milking of healthy milch animals, whereas dairy analogues are plant-based milk substitutes made from almonds, soya, coconut and others. The centre will soon roll out a 5,000 crore scheme to promote entrepreneurship in the animal husbandry sector with the twin objective of increasing productivity and reducing input cost. Atul Chaturvedi, Secretary, Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying, said in an interview. The focus will shift from alleviating poverty to encouraging more investments in the sector, he added. The scheme will initially run for 5 years and seeks to create a chain of entrepreneurs who will breed quality farm animals such as cows, buffaloes, goats and pigs and sell them to farmers. The centre will provide up to 50% subsidy to entrepreneurs, Chaturvedi said. They can avail bank loans to meet capital expenditure requirements for buying breeds and technology. The centre seeks to create rural entrepreneurs for producing cheaper fodder through the year. By converting green fodder into silage, such rural entrepreneurs can supply preserved green fodder round the clock throughout the year by using hub and spoke model and at a much cheaper price than concentrate feed available in the market. Rabobank forecast a 1.1% increase in milk production across the big 7 dairy producing regions in 2021. This is a decrease compared to the 1.6% year-on-year increase in 2020 and represents a modest tightening of supply which should help support markets as demand settles into post-vaccine balance. China's near-term import demand is elevated but is expected to slow in the second half of the year. High domestic milk prices are driving interest in expanding domestic milk production, which could reduce import needs in the future, according to Ben Lane, analyst dairy at Rabobank. Milk prices in China have likely reached a peak and will begin to soften from here. Demand will be in the driver's seat in 2021. Most economies will grow in 2021 compared to 2020. Rabobank is forecasting a 4.5% year-on-year increase in global GDP for 2021 compared to a minus 3.8% contraction in 2020. The impact of widespread vaccination should be felt by mid-year, which will be positive for economic activity. Also in the US, whey and non-fat dry milk have done well, though exports are currently challenged by container availability. Amid subdued growth in the urban markets, Nestle India is looking to aggressively expand its footprint in the rural markets with a target to reach 120,000 villages with population more than 5,000 in next 2 to 3 years. Bolstered by targeted products as well as campaigns, says Suresh Narayanan, CMD Nestle India. The company had taken steps in the last 2-3 years to enhance the rural footprint and the number stood at 89,000 villages in 2019 from 1,000 villages in 2017, he added. In the December quarter, the company's overall domestic sales grew by about 10%. While growth in the urban market stood at 6%, rural sales growth was almost twice that. Talking about the efforts to expand footprint in rural markets, Mr. Narayanan said this will be done not only via expansion of the distribution network, but also by tweaking the relevant parts of the portfolio. The work is on in terms of renovating and innovating some products that we will put out in the rural and semi-urban markets. India's agriculture exports are hardly 40 billion a year despite great natural resources and rainfall. With the world expected to add another 2 billion to the current population of 6.8 billion by 2050, we can easily boost annual farm shipments to over 100 billion, thus helping more than doubling our farmers' income. Consider milk, where we are not just the world's leading producer, but also home to the largest population of buffaloes to the tune of 109.85 million buffaloes as per the 2019 livestock census. Dairy cooperatives ensure that farmers receive roughly 3/4 of what consumers pay for milk. The domestic buffalo meat industry does the same. The rupees 25,000 to 26,000 that the farmer gets for a 300 kg spent in animal now is 75 to 80% of the free on board export realization from buffalo meat. Why should the Indian dairy farmer be deprived of the twin benefits from milk and meat that will also lead to a doubling of his income? The estimated global export market for bovine meat is around $50 billion. In 2014, India became the world's largest exporter and it was entirely buffalo meat. But between 2014 and 15 and 2019-20, the value of our buffalo meat exports fell from $4.78 billion to $3.2 billion. This was unfortunate. Finally, it is necessary to point out that the negative narrative that animal activists are weaving about the sector is ultimately going to harm the interest of our farmers.
Thanks for watching Dairy News 7x7 channel with news update from last 7 days. To continue receiving update from this channel, I Kuldeep Sharma request you to subscribe this channel and share and like the video, and also don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.